Welcome to Tweed's Garage. In this video we're flitting from one project to another like a butterfly, as they said in the Kinks song, for those that know. Was it the Kinks? I think it was. Anyway, we're going back to the BSA B31. Now some of you may remember it all runs, it's all together, and I have ridden it, but you may have noticed, and I did mention it, it was popping and banging a bit on the overrun and spitting back through the carburettor. Now, some suggested timing, but the eagle-eyed viewers out there would have noticed that it's manual advance and retard, so you can vary the ignition yourself, and basically that didn't make any difference at all. Didn't matter where it was set, advanced, retarded, it would still cough, fart, spit and all that kind of thing. Rode fine, but as I said on the ride, when I did take it out, it was running a bit hot, so we're running lean, I suspect. So what we need to do is have a look at the carburettor. I think the carburettor is the issue. So what we're going to do, go into the old worky workshop. No, we're in the worky workshop. Going to go to the Chapoterium, because that's where it is, tucked in there. And we're going to take the carb off, bring it into the workshop and strip it down, have a look at it. Yeah? So, come on, let's go. Right, let's get this carburettor off for a bit of investigation. Now, I might need to lean over you. I'm trying to do it so you can see. First thing I'm going to do is make sure the fuel tap's off, so hexig off rather than hexagon, which it is. I think we'll remove the hose off of top of the float bowl. And yeah, it's a random size nut, so to the horror of some, I've got my little king dick out, but that's loosened that perfectly, because the magic of these is you can get on the end. Yeah, let me grab a rag in hand, which will loosen it off. We'll probably get a little bit of petrol out of the pipe. Okay, banjo bolt and washer. Give the fitting a little wiggle. There we go. And I'll move that off. I would get you over this side, but we're in the Chapoterium and space is tight. Right, we'll pop that bolt back in the top of the carb so we don't lose it. There we go. Done, done, done. Right, I think most of the fuel is drained out that pipe. And then on this side, well, both sides, we've got a nut on each side, which are, for your information, 1/4 British Standard Whitworth or 5/16 BSF, according to my rusty spanner. And we'll undo them evenly, so to avoid distorting the carburettor, if it hasn't been distorted already, which most of them have. What is it with old motorbikes and cars, that you've got more space around everything, but you still can't blimmin' get to it? There's always something in the way. Yeah, everything gets in the way. Mixture screw gets in the way. You only get, not even 1/4 of a turn. Tank gets in the way. But it's right there. It's right there. You can see it. Easy to get to. There we go. Getting a bit of movement by flipping the spanner over. We need to move the carb out a bit so I've got a bit more clearance. How tight is it? Oh, look at, it's been on there a while. Oh, there we go. probably need to move it out at the same time to get the nut. Yep, second nut. Right, and I'm hoping enough room. Yeah, there's enough room to get it out. What we'll do is we'll loosen the top so we can drop the slide out with the cables, and then we can disconnect them afterwards. Wiggle. There we go. And then drop it down, and then the slide will come out like that. There we go. What's it like in there? It's pretty grim actually. Yeah, that's been backfiring up there. Yeah, okay. Take this off and take it to the workshop. Oh, just let the cables off. So you normally have to push down. Yeah, you can see there. Cables go down into the slide in little pockets there. One on the choke, which you can see there, and the one on the throttle that I just poked down through, and that slides along and then comes out of the needle hole. So you need to push that spring up. See if we can do it all. Need to get the needle out. Get a little screwdriver behind it, and what you need to do is if you can see, unfortunately you're in the way so I can't see, you need to sort of see, make a note of where it sits up in the top of the slide there, because the needle will have grooves on it, and this clip goes into the grooves, so that'll be your setting. So ping that out, drop it on the floor, and drop that out, and there you go. There's the groove settings there. Oh, yeah, it's bent as well. That doesn't help. So that allows to compress the spring, and then slide the throttle cable over, and then it should drop out of the hole. There you go. The needle was in, and then the slide comes off like this with your spring. So I'll put that aside for safekeeping, and then you do the same thing with the air slide. So you move it all the way down, so you've got loads of give on it, and you can push this up like that. Yeah, and it's sort of it's bedded in a little bit. It's down here. Oh yeah, I won't show you my black fingernail. There we go, like that. So then push it all down like that, so that the little nipple sticks out. Slide the cable over into the slot, and then let the spring do its work, and then the air slide comes off, drops on the floor. So there's the air slide there, along with the spring, and I think the brass spacer, and then the cable will slide out the top of the carburettor. He says, give it a wiggle. There we go. There we go. Carburettor off. So, okay, here we have it off the bike, and we'll disassemble it all and check the condition of it. This is a Amal Monobloc 376 series, stroke 2, quite a common one for bikes of the 50s, 60s. When it got to the end of the 60s, they came out with the concentric carburettor, which moved the float bowl from here down to underneath, like some of the sort of later Japanese carburetors, but it was sort of a round one that sat on the bottom of the carburettor. The main bugbear of these monobloc carburetors is this. You know, they leak petrol, always dripping petrol. You know, no matter how well you do them up, they always seem to leak down the bottom end, sometimes the float bowl, but more here because the petrol sits in the bottom of the jet housing down here, and you got a fibre washer there, so it always sort of dribbles fuel out. There's always fuel left in there when you turn the bike off. So this was the main bugbear with these carburetors. Personally, I think they look nicer than the later concentric ones, but with the concentric ones with the float bowl underneath, like a Japanese carburetor, all the fuel leaking was contained within a bowl. You know, so you didn't get this dripping all over your top of your engine, leaving a gooey mess. So, float chamber on the side. This is fairly standard on the left side. Manufacturers could specify which side they wanted the sort of float bowl on. Some sort of, if you had it on a twin, you might want the float bowl on the left on one side and the right on the other. So yeah, there's all sort of different styles of this carburetor, you know, where the float bowl moves around. I think you could even get a remote one with a remote float bowl as well. But anyway, so looking around it, we've already found the needle bent at the top, which will sort of push it over to one side really. Would cause a few issues. Next thing to check is, we might dribble fuel all over the place. It does look a bit bananaed. Let's find a straight edge. We check the mating face of the carburettor where it bolts up. Yeah, I can see. Well, you can probably see. Can you see? Let's have a look. Carburettor. Put that straight edge across there. Yeah, you can see it. Like a banana. Yep, so that's the first problem with it. So that would need to be put right, machined flat. So, next thing we've got, if we take this nut off here that was holding the banjo on, we've got a fuel filter mesh, and yeah, that's all torn. There, see, not attached anymore. Not doing its job. So we'd need one of them. Okay, let's delve into the float bowl on the side here. So remove this cover. If there's any fuel left in it, where it's all leaked out the bottom. So remove the 3 screws and then gently prise the lid open if we can without damaging it. There we go. Give it a little, yeah. Oh, bit of fuel left in there. Yeah, here's a new gasket. And then we've got the float in here, so there's a little cap. Can you see that all right? Little plastic cap there just to sort of retain the float. So remove that. And the float needle will probably fall out. So there's that. Not sure if that's original or something somebody's added. Little pad there on the float. Float looks okay. Doesn't seem to have any fuel in it. And then we'll just hook the needle. It's just a plastic needle. And then empty what fuel we've got left in there and what muck we've got. Just get the fuel out of the chamber in here as well. Next thing, take the slide back out. Just remove the carb top. Like that. And these carb tops have a little little tab on them there that when you're tightening them up, get them straightened up, and it goes into that little recess there, so you know you've got it in the right position. And remove our, as you've seen before, spring for the air assembly. Next thing we do is have a look at the slide. Moves up and down okay. Bit of scoring on the back face of it. But what you do notice is, if I can demonstrate it, there's a lot of slop in that slide, moving it up and down. Yeah, it's difficult to, if I move it down there, move it off the stop, it wobbles around quite a lot. Yeah, it slops around a lot, and you can also see where it's sort of been, I would say, probably more backfiring mixture up rather than sucking dirt in through the top. It looks like rich mixture, you know, up there. Kept clean by the slide moving up and down. But that suggests air is getting past and around the slide and upsetting the mixture. So, what else have we got? Right, jets at the bottom. Let's see where you are. Right, so we just shake the slide out. Have a look at it. It's quite rough, bit of corrosion there. Worn there, worn on the sides. Quite sooty. There's inside the ball there. Okay, next take the jets out. Start with the idle jet. So that's under this little cover here. Jet nut there. And then unscrew it. There. There we go. There's your jet there. So, I have unblocked this before, but two holes at the side are okay. That one in the bottom is okay. I'm not sure whether I can see a hole at the top or whether there should be a hole at the top. Yep, that's okay. You can see light through there, so that's clear. It's okay. I'll just pop it in there so we don't lose it. And then we've got our main jet here. Now your fuel flows into the bottom of the chamber to then get sucked up to the tube through the main jet there. But we can strip this all down as well. There we go. Save chewing it up. There you go, there's the bottom of your, that would be the sort of bottom of your float bowl in your modern style carburettor or the concentric carburettor. So as you can see, you've got one joint there that can leak fuel, and I don't think there's any O-ring. I think it just relies on a taper. And then you've got another O-ring here that seals on the bottom of the carb body. So you've got another area that can leak. So that's that. Let's take the there we go, it's 200. that's all fine. Should hope so. I'll clean them out to get the bike running. And then you've got this top jet that coincides with the needle that goes through it. There we go. There's the top part, and then that's your atomizer tube assembly. All there. And then the carb is basically stripped out. You can, if you were reworking the carburettor, some people bore these out. This inner throat here is I think it's pushed in. I don't think it's yeah, looks like it's sort of got a flat side on it, so it can only go in one way. It must be pushed in. And then that's your little sprung loaded rod for flooding the carburettor. So basically you just push that down, and what it does is, normally you got your fuel sitting at a certain level, so you'll push this down, it'll push the float down, open this valve, let fuel flow through, you know, and the float can't turn the fuel off until the fuel fills up the float chamber, and then you start to get a little either an overflow out of the carb or around here, so you know you've flooded the carb ready for starting. So there you go, there's sort of major parts of it apart. There you've got the this is your idle speed adjustment. This goes up through the carb, and you can't see it, but it comes out there where that little slot is, just below this assembly, and just rests on, you can just see, yeah, just rests on the bottom of the slide here. You can see where they've got just a thicker edge to it, rests on there, and moves this up and down to set your idle speed, letting the, you know, adjusting the amount of air that goes in, increasing the tick over as you do it up. I think this one might be the lock screw to lock this this casting in position. I'll double check and stick it up above, let you know what it is, but we don't need to take that out. And then the last one, we'll leave that in for now, don't need to take that out. Last one is the air fuel mixture. What you should really do before you take one out is from where you are, count the turns in till it stops. So half, 1, 1.5, 2, say 2 1/8. So you know where to set it when you put it back together. If you're setting up a new carburettor, a lot of manufacturers had a setting, you know, a rough setting, base setting you could set it to and work from there. Japanese are a bit better at it, but I think some of the British information books you get have the amount of turns that you set it to. The English stuff does tend to be a bit vaguer when they say, yes, just sort of move it to where the motorcycle is happiest. Yeah, that looks okay, but as I said, I have been through this once and cleaned it all again. So there you go, that's the Amal Monobloc 376 carburettor, just stripped down as far as I want to go with it. Yeah, so we've got a bent needle, worn slide, worn body, distorted gasket face. Looks like copper, that's probably, well, I don't know, yeah, maybe copper. Float, which is in good order, but can be affected by modern fuels. Allegedly the ethanol can eat away at the some of the components in the tin in the solder, which can cause problems, cause them to come apart. New gauze mesh needed, new fibre washers needed all the way through. Jets are okay. Yeah, I think that's about it. So I could order all those bits, and you know, the bill adds up. You know, some people are on about, I think, I don't know if you get these sleeved down and these machined, so you've got to, you know, spend your time doing that and pay somebody to do it for you. You know, if it was a rare carb and you couldn't find another one, then I would do that. But they make new ones of these. Yes, they're a bit pricey. Well, they're not really. Not in the grand scheme of things. The money people spend on chrome plating and painting motorcycles and that, and then they'll go and stick on a crappy old carb because that's what it had. You know, these were really a throwaway item once they'd worn out. You just go down to your bike dealer or your ammo dealer, buy a new one, pop it on. So yeah, I'll put it back together, but I'm not going to use it because I've bought a new one. I'll clear the decks and we'll have a look at this. So, no affiliation. This is bought with my own money from BURLEN Fuel Systems. So this is their range of Amal carburetors that they produce. Yeah, what do they do? Comes with a 2-year date of purchase warranty. So, got a bag of, got the inlet trumpet, aluminium one, whereas the original one I think is, yeah, chrome plated something. You get a tuning guide, the original Amal one. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So shows you all the bits and bobs. So 13, to give you the right name for the jets, is the main jet. 33, the one I had up the top, is the needle jet. So main jet, needle jet, and then 32 is, as I said, pilot jet or your idle jet. So tells you how it works, how to trace faults, how to tune it up, and you know, how to sort of work out your needle positions, stuff like that. So it comes with that. It comes with 2 little ferrules. These go, you may have seen when I took the carburetor off, they go in here, and they're the seats for where the cables go down through the carburetors. Okay, so that's that. That's that to be put on later. And it comes with a nice bit of brown paper. Oh, and a little note just to say that it has a temporary throttle cable on it because that's where they test them before they ship them out. So yeah, every carb is tested at BURLEN Fuel Systems before they're sent out. And then, oh, it's like Christmas. There you go, shiny new carb. Oh, I can hear you. It's too shiny, etc, etc, blah de blah. But I want to ride the bike, don't want to look at it. Yeah, so unusually it has a I'm not sure that's an O-ring for an O-ring or just to sort of ease distortion and make it seal better on the gasket. Not sure, might have to give them a ring. So yeah, there we go, nice shiny slide, and that is, yeah, that, I mean, that is, yeah, that's totally totally different. So I don't know if I can hold that. Yeah, there you go. It's a nice movement on that. Yeah, no movement side to side, so vast improvement on the old one. And so we've got all nice new clean jets, and then there'll be a new filter in there. So put that on, sort some gaskets out, and we'll be putting that on. and see how it goes. But yeah, I thought you'd like to see that. So basically the same, but made from better materials. So cast in aluminium now. These were cast in a sort of, yeah, sort of aluminium, but not as bad as Mazak, but not the best. And I know BURLEN have gone out of their way to make sure the bodies are all cast in aluminium, you know, so they last a lot longer. I only had it 5 minutes, I managed to lose something already. Oh no, it's in there. It's all right, I was looking for it. It's got the idle adjuster and spring in the bag as well. So yeah, so that's what comes with your new carburettor. Nice little box to put your bits and bobs in. Nice new carburettor to go on the bike. And yeah, a little manual on how to set them up. But hopefully, when you go onto their website, they've got fittings for most old British bikes, you know, model specific, year specific. So you just select your model and year, and they will build you the carb with the correct jettings, correct needle setting and the correct needle. So all we need to do, sort some gaskets out, pop this on. Shall we do that now? Do that now. Nip that down. I think I will put a bit of Loctite on that so it doesn't go disappearing down the road. Pop that in there. They probably take that out so it doesn't get bent in shipping. So I'll do it up till the slide starts to go up and then back it off a bit. About there. I've got those, all those. It's ready to go back on the bike. Right, I don't want anybody saying I didn't strip it all the way down, so we're going to try and take the jet block out. So I think this screw holds it in. A little locating screw. So I think it goes in a groove on the bottom of this, which we now know this casting here is the jet block. All those that were shouting it earlier, we're making up for it now. I think what we probably need to do is give that a little tappy tap with something soft.
I said, what do you want it for? He said, I'm trying to raise something for the vicar. So I said,
yeah, that should do. A little bit of a tappy tap. Try it with a nylon hammer first. Yep, something's moving. Yep, we're shifting. I know this isn't penetrating oil, it's just to lubricate it on the way down, keep it in good condition, so we can sell it at an auto jumble. There we go, along with all the other treasures. There we go. And we'll have a quick give that a wipe Doreen. There we go, so you can get into the little airways there and clean them out as well. Not too bad. Bit sooty though through there. And then there's a small little pilot hole there. Probably something to do with a choke enrichment circuit. There, but there you go. One jet block. and one carb. So you can see all the way down it if you wanted to machine one out. So that's the Amal 376 monobloc carburettor. As I said, very similar to all the other monoblocks out there. Just a few variations on float bowls, what side they are, all that kind of thing. So hope that helps you if you're sort of taking one apart. Yeah, if yours isn't too worn and you just want to change a few bits, that's fine by me. But then also there was a little look at a nice product from Amal. So I hope you like looking at that, and then we'll get round to going to make a little spacer block, little heat insulation block. I could probably buy one, but I think we've got loads of Paxlin around here. Might make one and stink the workshop out as we're machining it. So yeah, hope you liked the video. If you did, give us a little like and hit subscribe. And what else? I'll go back and watch the other videos. There's loads of stuff out there. Keep you amused. And these, yeah, it's getting chilly, isn't it? Autumn's on its way. So till next time, see you then. All right, cheerio. Bye. Hello. Oh. So there you go. That's the Amal 376. What are we doing, Jenkins? So that's the Amal 376. Forgotten again. That's the So that's the Amal 376. Oh, for God's sake.